Hey, what is up guys? Granhildr here. Welcome back to another Brave 9 video. Alright, so it's been a long time since I've wanted to do this. Asmode and Granhildr. So what is the interaction between these two units? Because I still get lots of comments till today. People saying that Asmode cannot one-shot Gran. People saying that Asmode will always die to Granhildr, and people saying that, you know, Granhildr is the best unit to counter Asmode etc. And it's just a lot of misinformation. Alright, so let me educate you guys a little bit on this. So this is something that you guys need to take note. So let's jump into a quick analysis. Alright, just gonna go to book. You know what, don't need to go to book, we just go here since I have both of them. Granhildr. So what Granhildr has is this particular skill right here, which reflects debuff skill type to the enemy. So what this does is whatever debuff that comes onto her will be reflected back to the user. Alright, so that includes silence, attack interference, DOT, whatever it is. Okay, so let's look at Asmode. Asmode has this skill right here. So bloody pillage. It's called bloody pillage. I don't know why there's no blood involved at all, but here's the thing. He ignores his enemy's incoming damage reduction skill types, deals additional damage, and this is the skill, the pillage skill. So this applies ahead of bloody pillage's additional damage, applies buffs to oneself by pillaging buffs applied to the enemy. Alright, so this thing, look at the exception here, look at this, unremovable skills can't be pillage. Okay, so we will get back to that in a second, but here's the thing. Whenever Asmode uses this skill on Gran, what happens is Gran will reflect this skill back to Asmode himself. So therefore, Asmode will be the one getting the pillage. So Gran will receive the buffs from Asmode in return of that. So this is the tricky part, right? Certain buffs can be pillaged, certain buffs cannot be pillaged. So I'm going to run a couple of experiments later on. Hopefully you guys can see that. But things like Raphitia's buffs can be pillaged. So when Asmode tries to pillage, if Asmode has Raphitia's buff and tries to pillage a Granhildr, what happens is that Granhildr will end up stealing Raphitia's buffs from Asmode instead. Alright, I know some of you are confused and still don't understand what I'm talking about. Some of you will be like, Granhildr, what the heck are you talking about? Pillage this, pillage him, pillage her, pillage her mom. Alright, here's the thing. I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about right after the message from the sponsor. Alright, so let's run this experiment right here. So to clarify what I mentioned. So Raphitia, Michaela, Asmode. So I'm going to remove everyone else. I don't even need my Gran, I guess. Okay, so let's run this experiment right here. So here's the thing. A lot of people don't really know about this. So Granhildr, this Gran has 1 vital and 1 shield rune, right? So 21,000 HP and 54.5% defense. So it's going to be hard for Asmode to one-shot this Gran. But what I want to show you guys is I do have a plus 10 Asmode, so I should be able to do it. But we are focusing on her skills. So what usually happens is when you change your supporters into Asmode, what Asmode does is Asmode will try to pillage Gran's buffs, right? Will try to use this skill right here. But this skill apparently is counted as a debuff. So Gran does have this reflect debuff kind of skill. So usually that reflect debuff will end up hitting back Asmode, and Gran will be the one pillaging Asmode's buffs as opposed to Asmode pillaging Gran's buffs. I know it's a bit confusing, but I'm just going to show you guys. I'm going to bring in something like let's see. I'll bring in another supporter, something like maybe Isabel. So Isabel does not have irremovable buffs. So something like this. So we have a 1, we have a 2. So Asmode still have a chance to one-shot the Gran. I have 36% crit rate, right? So my chance of one-shotting the Gran is going to be 36%. Of course, with all these buffs, I will get to 100% crit rate and higher amount of crit damage. But Gran is going to pillage my buffs. So if Gran survive, you guys should be able to see what I mean. I will just highlight Gran and show you guys. Okay, so let the enemy move first, and Lyudmila will go first. Alright, so now look at this enemy Gran. So currently there's 4 buffs on her, right? So now my turn. Now Asmode will pillage Gran. Zoop. Look, now Gran has more buffs because what happened is that pillage got reflected and my Asmode end up dying. So this is what usually happens. But how do you counter that? How do you mitigate that from happening? How do you make it consistent so that Asmode can one-shot Gran consistently and not relying on the RNG of that 36% or whatever base crit rate that your Asmode has without before. Basically before all the buffs, right? So the idea is to use irremovable buffs. Alright, so you need something that's irremovable. And so one of the best candidates for that would be Stella and Michaela. So now, just now I was using Raphithia and Isabel. So both of them does not have irremovable buffs. So irremovable buffs, besides being irremovable, also cannot be pillaged. Alright, this is something that a lot of people don't know. So irremovable buffs, something like what Stella has. So I'm going to show you guys right here. Can't be removed with removal and not affected by pillaging and copying. So this is something that all the irremovable buffs have in common. Damn, I can't pronounce it. Alright, can't be removed with removable skill type. Okay, so that means it cannot be pillaged. So let me show you guys again, one more time, showcase. Now this time I have Stella and Michaela. So most likely than not, I might be able to one-shot the Gran. So let's go. Poof. And then look at this. Stella buffing Asmode. And then we have Michaela buffing Asmode. So Gran. Boom. Look at that. So Gran dies, Asmode dies. Okay, so this is how you can do it. A consistent method. You need Stella. You need Michaela. Alright, you need two of these units to be able to one-shot Gran consistently. That Gran even have 54% defense, and plus 10 Asmode is like more than enough. Alright, with 2 Rage Runes, if you have Stella, you have Michaela, easy. Alright, you should be able to do it easy, consistent enough. Okay, so now if you are an Asmode user, so make sure to use that, take that to your advantage, because I do think that it's something that you can easily utilize. So we're going to try to attack this guy and pillage the dust for real. The earlier 2 runs were just to experiment and show you guys how we can do it. So now I'm gonna try 5, 6. Okay, I will be putting something like my... Okay, so let's showcase that again. Hopefully you guys get the idea. Again, I'm adding some teams, hopefully to try to win this battle. So enemy will go first with Belial and whatnot. Enemy will go in with Lyudmila. Boom, I have Lucius backing out right there. Okay, so now again I'm showcasing you guys how consistent this is. I have Raphithia as well this time. So Gran is gonna die for sure. Boof. Alright, it's a trade 1-for-1, but it's a consistent method. Consistent enough to get rid of Granhildr. So you can use this to your advantage. Skeletons. Alright. Dalvi go in. No problem. Vals. Can I do this? Maybe I can, maybe I cannot. Depending. Okay. Looks like pretty good. Uh-oh, Vals. Vals. Everybody's charm. Alright, I should be able to do this. It looks consistent enough. Alright, GG. Okay, so make sure you guys take note of how you can take advantage of Asmode's potential. Especially, Asmode is one of those units that you really need supporters to back him up. It's just how it works, right? You don't really need anything else. Okay, so use this knowledge to your advantage. Obviously, you can set up lots of different formations with this. If you guys have Asmode as well at your disposal, try to take advantage of this method. Again, you don't really need Michaela most of the time, right? So in that particular battle, I demonstrated that you are using Stella and Michaela. But most of the time, if enemy Gran only has vital runes, you don't need Michaela at all. Stella is going to be more than enough. So consistent, you will be able to one-shot the Gran all the time. Alright, so it's a trade, but it is what it is. You are trading a legendary for another legendary. And if you guys have been struggling to deal with Gran, a trade is better than nothing, alright? Like, it's going to help you to achieve your goals, get rid of Gran, why not, right? So yeah, Asmode doesn't even need plus 10. I believe at plus 6 with Stella's buffs, he's gonna do just fine. He will be able to one-shot even plus 15 Gran. I strongly believe so. Alright guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed this brief guide. Let me know what you guys think of this strategy or technique rather. Leave it in the comments below. As always, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, give it a like. It helps me out a lot. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, subscribe as well. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.